Hello and welcome to my second YouTube video. This time I'm going to be renovating chairs 7 and 8 of the 23 chairs. So these chairs originally date from the 1940s. They're solid oak. They are really nice, solid chairs, really good quality, really nice proportions, lovely shape. The material that's on them now is pretty bad. And these giant upholstery pins, don't know what was going on there. So the first job is to strip all that back. And here you can see there's at least 3 layers of staples under there, so these have been reupholstered at least 3 times in their life. Every single time the person's just gone over the old staples, but there are some loose ones, there are some that are just little pins sticking out, there are rusty ones, there are ones with big clumps of material on, so I want to get all of these out. And I did have some pretty big blisters by the end of this. So now time to just give it a really good clean. Just in preparation for painting, make sure there's no dirt on the surfaces, no grease, just so the paint really adheres nicely. And here's a little treat for you. What came off the chair? So here's some more prep for the painting. This is just a light sand all over, and there are some bits where the wood's got scuffed, and I just want to leave a nice smooth finish there. Just again, so the paint has a nice finish when it goes on, so it's just smoothing those areas out. This chair's now getting repaired to one of its joints. We've had to do this to all of the chairs that we've done so far on at least one joint. It's just a minor repair really. Just knock that apart, pop some wood glue in there and then clamp it. And now I'm getting onto the seat pads. So obviously reupholstering these as well. That means stripping back again another ton of staples. These boards have definitely been replaced fairly recently, so they're in really good condition still and don't need replacing again, so that's good news. And again, the wadding underneath is still kind of fluffy and clean, so that's okay. I'm just going to put a single layer over the top just to refresh it a bit. Fabric I'm using, this is a black PU leather, so just going for something a little sleeker this time. And this is just a bit of trial and error really, making sure it's kind of tight enough that you don't get creases and lumps, but leaving it loose enough that it's still kind of rounded and looks comfortable. So just flipping it over, checking it, flipping it over, putting some staples in, flipping it over, checking it, and so on. Fabric is purely just to cover up the raw edges, leave it all looking neat, and even though no one will ever see this unless they get down on their hands and knees and look at the underside of the chair, I am obsessing about getting it perfect. So this goes on for an unfortunate amount of time. So long, in fact, that microwave phone went black. So I'm trying out spray painting for the first time. I'm not massively keen on seeing brush marks in painted furniture, so always spending a lot of time trying to get those brush marks out. Thought this might be a good option. So this is kind of an experiment to see how it works. And it is so much quicker for a start, quite hard to get into the nooks and crannies, and not advisable to be doing this on a super windy day, which I was. It's not ideal. But yeah, definitely so much quicker. And then just doing some touch-ups. So after both chairs have now had a main coat and then another coat with kind of touch-ups and extra bits that were needed. But it covered pretty well in one coat. It really was just touch-ups on the second coat. And now I'm Scotch-Brighting it, so just giving it a really good rub, trying to do it in areas which would see wear and tear so it looks quite natural, but I am going for a slightly distressed, slightly antiqued finish on these ones. I think with the really sleek leather, this is me just checking that it goes okay, with the really sleek leather, just a slightly distressed look, it looks nice, otherwise I think they would just look too crisp for the age they are. For that vintage look, it would just look a bit weird if it was all too perfect and too crisp. So now I'm measuring out the fabric for the back pieces of the upholstery. Chairs 1 to 6, I stripped every single staple out of that back piece and just left it open, which I really, really did like. I mean, I love the look of the chairs 1 to 6, I think they look great, but just thought I'd try something different and also maybe save a bit of the finger breaking, blister making element of getting all those staples out. So here's hubs for some muscle, getting me through those staples. This piece just acts as a stretcher, keep this piece nice and taut, and that becomes the back piece, and then you'll see me make the front piece, and that is then attached to this piece. So here we go, measuring the piece for the front. So I'm using a spray adhesive to stick those 3 layers you've just seen me cut. Had to move the tripod because I realised there was glue all over the sheet now. I didn't want to get it on the back. So I'm just using the ruler so I can fold over a hem and keep that nice and straight. And then we're going to start attaching that with some much smaller, much more discreet upholstery pins. So I tried putting it on a cushion so that it wouldn't get damaged on the floor outside. That was not helping at all. So this is after we brought it indoors. Also retrieved a drill. We found that almost every single upholstery pin was getting bent as it went into the wood. So Hubs is now drilling a pilot hole. And here we get to the very last one, and tragedy strikes, the drill bit has broken in the warding. So a little bit of surgery to remove that, and the last pin goes in. And there we go, the finished chairs. I am pleased with this. I'm pleased I tried the upholstered back. They are really comfortable chairs to sit in, actually, because of that, I think. That really light, distressing antique finish I'm loving. So for more, follow me on Instagram, visit my Etsy shop, and thanks for watching.